Hey beautiful people, today we're going to talk about why it's important to have leadership skills. What if leadership isn't just about having authority and being able to tell people what to do, but it's more about improving how things get done and creating more opportunities for people? If you think leadership is for managers, that's great because it means you're probably already doing a certain level of leadership. What if your ability to lead is actually the biggest driver of your promotability? By the end of this video, I want you to be able to understand why leadership skills matter. If you're asking this question, it means that you're interested in acquiring them for yourself, and I want you to understand how to see that as a progression. I want to help you understand how leadership skills drive innovation, drive retention, and drive promotability. I'd like to also help you learn about what leadership skills matter most in today's highly changing, rapidly changing environment, and also how your path to leadership is going to help you be more agile, be more robust and more able to handle and manage change, and also be more in charge and more in control of your own destiny and your own career. The mindset shift here is adopting a thinking process for yourself that moves away from, I need a leadership title. I'm not saying that's not important. I need a leadership title to, I practice leadership skills every day and I'm committed to being the leader that I would like to follow. There's no doubt that leadership skills enhance career advancement, and the primary reason for that is that younger people need someone as a role model to be able to understand how they can learn fast and how they conduct themselves inside organizations. Leaders are also critically important when it comes to communications and messaging, when it comes to change, when it comes to growth for people, and when it comes to pursuing opportunities. So leaders are almost like a fulcrum of agility inside a company. Good leaders are, that allow organizations to be able to grow and develop market share and create new products and bring new services to market and grow people to be able to step up into those opportunities. So if you're able to develop yourself as a leader, you are putting yourself into a position where you will have tremendous growth opportunities in your career. If you're an effective leader, you can also drive organizational performance. So when you start thinking about your leadership trajectory or your leadership pathway, if you're new to leadership and you're beginning to think about yourself in a leadership role, your first role might be as a manager, but that's also as a leader, because when you're a manager, yes, you're managing the work that other people do, but if you're not leading and helping them grow, and you're not leading and growing yourself, then you're never going to move into a leadership role. You're always going to be in a task management role, which is probably a wasted opportunity. If your next step then is into a leadership role where you are responsible for a larger number of people, and you are also now responsible for OKRs or KPIs that the company has identified as how they're going to execute on going after new market share, introducing new product, looking for new opportunities, bringing forward new innovation. What you'll notice is that that next level doesn't necessarily have budget or any real financial authority associated with it, but it absolutely has leadership authority associated with it in terms of you're now responsible for making sure that the change that happens in your team or your group or your department is successful. And as you start thinking about that, you're looking to, okay, how do I help people grow? If you're in the business of helping people grow at the same time as figuring out how what's coming down from above in terms of your KPIs or your OKRs or your goals and your metrics, if you're part of designing those and you're part of fashioning those to make sure that they're a good fit for what your team can deliver on, what you're doing then is you're putting yourself in the middle of designing the future and helping to execute the future and helping to support people grow into those opportunities. That is really the essence of what leadership at that level is all about. The leadership skills that you'll develop at that level, and I'm saying the level that we're talking about now is the level pre having your own budget, and you obviously have a head count, but you're not responsible for the budget. At that sort of senior manager, early director level, what you're doing is you're building the leadership skills that are absolutely essential for navigating change. If you can teach yourself how to be the steady hand in the middle of change, the person who sees change as an opportunity, the person who wants to be able to help other people grow into those opportunities, the person who's actually able to navigate the gray space between what the direction the company is saying you need to go in, and the gaps that they haven't anticipated or haven't seen, but that they show up at your level in the organization, and you're helping those gaps to be filled, and you're helping people step into those roles, and you're negotiating with HR if you see missing opportunities or missed roles. You're negotiating with your boss or your boss's boss in conjunction with your boss around opportunities that are being missed because the change didn't anticipate a certain aspect of work was going to be very different. If you're the person who's helping glue all of that together and bring it together and make it successful, you're navigating change effectively. Now that requires a level of amazing agility, and it also requires that you have a deep level of self-knowledge as to what it is your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, where you need to ask for help, how far you can push yourself, how far you can grow your people, how far you can push your people. So you're in the process of doing this constant series of feedback loops that allow you to be able to create stability and opportunity as opposed to scarcity, fear, and chaos. If you have some change and transformation work under your belt in a leadership role, that makes you incredibly valuable, because organizations can recognize that as you've been through the mill. You've done what it took to make it work, and the people who worked for you survived and learned and grew, hopefully grew as well. If a company can recognize you as someone who's been through the mill and who's actually successfully led some change, every company knows they're going to have to undergo change. And if you have those change leadership skills under your belt, they're very valuable. So if you're looking for other opportunities within your company, or you're looking for opportunities outside of your company, recognize that those leadership skills are valuable. So now you can begin to visualize in the middle of a lot of change inside an organization. There's also a lot of flux and a lot of chaos and a lot of uncertainty and a lot of anxiety. If you're the person who's actually able to hold space for people to ask good questions, to be able to look after themselves, to build a level of agency for themselves, to be able to figure out their way through the change without getting resentful or distrustful or paranoid. What will happen is you will have now set yourself up as someone who is calm, who doesn't get overly excited about stuff, who doesn't freak out when they don't have what they need, who doesn't yell at people, who actually looks to be able to grow people through this process. And as you do that, what you'll see is people want to stick with you, because if you can make change a growth opportunity for them as opposed to an anxiety opportunity for them, then they know whenever change comes around again, you're going to be the person who's going to be able to hold the boat steady, and they're going to be able to work for you. So what's happened to me in my career is I have moved multiple times to multiple different organizations and multiple different roles. Obviously, if you have a long career, that's kind of par for the course. But I've also moved with bosses that I know are visionary, are respectful, are interested in growing me, can stay calm under pressure, can handle change well, can communicate effectively, allow me to be able to communicate with them, allow me to be able to make offers to them, allow me to be able to ask questions, and will help me grow my team while they're helping me grow myself. That's a very particular skill. But once you find it inside your organization and you're working for someone like that, make sure that you are taking notes and learning how to be someone like that, someone who you yourself would like to follow. So when we think about innovation, we also think about how do you lead innovation. Innovation is normally thought of in terms of great big ideas that change the world. I invite you to think about them as small incremental steps that allow things to be able to be better at work. And the reason why I do that is, yes, we talk about moonshots, and yes, we can talk about incremental innovation. Incremental innovation is a great place to start to help you get yourself on the path to a really powerful, effective moonshot. There's a fantastic book called Moonshots. It's also worth reading. But as you start thinking about incremental innovation, you start attuning yourself to what is innovation. And you begin to realize that innovation is actually possibilities that bubble up from people's understanding and perspective of how work works and what is going on in the world and how people add value for each other. And it's their ability to be able to make offers based on their unique perception and their unique skill set, and to be able to make offers in a way that adds value to other people. That's innovation at its most molecular or atomic, that allows you to be able to build small habits that become bigger practices, that become opportunities for innovation. Great leaders will cultivate that like crazy, and they are looking for those people who are able to join the dots, listen to the feedback loops, engage with people outside their own organization, make sense of what it is that's going on, and are able to deliver value for them. So as you start thinking about important leadership skills to have, recognize that going forward, as the world is changing so fast, we are looking at, can we have people who can remain calm under pressure? Can we have people who are able to make sense of crazy situations and translate that sense into something valuable for other people? Can we have people who are able to add value for people by designing and developing and making offers that are valuable for people inside and outside of their company? Can we have people that are able to grow people and help them move to their next level of capacity? There are a lot of leadership skills. Those are some of the key ones that I'm seeing at the moment are absolutely critical. As you start building your leadership skills and you start thinking about your next promotion and how you want to get into a leadership role, I encourage you to take the promotion readiness assessment. There's a link to it down below in the comments. It is also www.getpromotedassessment.com. It'll get you to begin thinking about the leadership role that you want to have and how ready you are for that. And if you're brutally honest with yourself, you can see whether or not there's a gap, or you can see where you're ready. If there's a gap, keep coming back. I'm going to be discussing this gap and helping you move beyond it. Let me know how it goes for you. Let me know what you think about this video and also about the assessment, and let me design more things that can be of value for you. I wish you the absolute best of luck on your path to leadership, and I'm sure you will be very successful.